Hi, everyone. Welcome to our What's New demo. We're so excited that you're here. We launched so many incredible new time-saving features over the course of January, and we know it was a lot. So we're excited to show you everything that's new, some of the smaller features that you asked for, and some of the bigger ones that really are absolute game changers as it relates to Brisk and also AI time-saving tools in general. So we're going to quickly start with an intro. I am Suvi. I have worked in children's media and ed tech for many years and have joined the Brisk team a couple of months ago. And as you continue to use Brisk and join our various communities, we will get to know each other a lot better. So I'm so excited to be here. And of course, the star of the show, Arman, is here to introduce himself too.
Hi there. I'm so excited to be here. A little bit about background on myself is I've spent my entire career working in education. Last year, a couple of former colleagues and I started Brisk, and our fundamental belief is that artificial intelligence can be really powerful, can really improve the quality of instruction and the productivity of teachers, but that we really need to make it easy to use and integrated with the tools that teachers are already using. And so that's kind of one of the fundamental beliefs around Brisk.
All right, so we're gonna start by going through a quick agenda. This is what you can expect for this quick 30-minute session. And I wanted to say thank you because I know that it's late for many of you on the West Coast and the East Coast and early middle of the day for you in the Southern Hemisphere. So we're so grateful that you're taking time out of your day to join us. First, we're gonna start with a little bit of a surprise announcement for you. So you'll be excited to see that. And then Arman is going to show some of the smaller updates that we launched in January. Many of these are things that you all requested. Next, we'll go into a demo of some of the bigger updates that, like I mentioned, really change the game for Brisk and for AI tools that help save you time. Then we have some new things that are launching tomorrow. And so Arman's going to show you a sneak peek of those. We will have a Q&A. So take note of the Q&A section of GoToWebinar. You can ask questions that come up throughout this session as Arman is demoing. Please let us know what's on your mind, feature requests, what's working, what's not, throw them in there, and we'll spend some time answering some of those questions. Then we have a couple more surprises, and then we're going to end this session with a very randomized giveaway where we'll give away 3 Brisk T-shirts. And if you're a winner, I'll email you after for your size and information so I can send that your way this week. So with that, let's show the first surprise. Woohoo! So some of you maybe have seen some inklings of this across some of our materials already, but Brisk has a brand new updated look officially going live tomorrow. We've been sneaking it into things over the last month, but when you open Brisk starting tomorrow, the Brisk icon that you see in your Chrome navigation toolbar and also in the bottom of your screen that you use to open up Brisk will look different. It will look like this. And as Arman starts to demo, you'll see actually the improved look across his demoing, so you can get a sense of what to look out for as the look of Brisk changes.
I just want to say how excited I am about this change. Suvi joined just 2 months ago, and she was instrumental in thinking through how we kind of were updating our branding. And so we're really hopeful and excited about how this will reflect the professionalism of teachers and how Brisk aspires to improve their productivity. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things that Brisk has launched recently. These are some of the things that teachers have asked for. And we know teachers are really excited about Brisk. And so what are the smaller things, the little moments of delight that we can add to the tool that really help educators? So I'm going to walk you through a couple of them. The first thing is we heard from a lot of teachers that they were really excited about the ability to create depth of knowledge questions. So, quizzes are great to be able to assess, student comprehension of concepts, but, to really dive deeper, depth of knowledge questions are really helpful. Those 4 levels and being able to specify them really helps educators kind of dive deeper and support learners. We also released progress reports and state standardized testing. So this means, as testing starts to come up, we've integrated things like SBAC and STAR, and are integrating more as we go. And so we're really excited to be able to bring that level of rigor as you kind of work with your students to prepare for standardized tests. Next, I'm going to walk you through something that was really simple change, but I think is a deep unlock that educators might not notice right away. So Brisk, first of all, you can see the updated Brisk icon here in the right on the right. Before, when you landed on a web page, for example, the BBC, the New York Times, you used to see just the ability to change the reading level of a text. And what we realized was that a lot of teachers were copying and pasting these articles and then creating lesson plans or resources about them. And so now with Brisk, what you can do is you can actually create content directly about any web page that you land on, whether it is a lesson plan that you want to incorporate a news article into, create a quiz or something like that. So we're really excited about that. And then on the other side, being able to actually give feedback on things that are not Google Documents. So if you're in a learning management system and have a forum and your students are responding to content and you want to just select some of that text and give feedback just on that piece, Brisk will generate that feedback for you. So being able to give feedback wherever student work is happening is something that's really big, and we're really excited to launch as well. With all of these changes, please give us feedback. We're always excited to kind of learn how you are using Brisk and how we can improve the tool. This was actually a big feature request from educators. And so as you use the Q&A, we really encourage you, because sometimes we just don't see the obvious improvements we can make to the tool. The next thing that I'll really quickly, briefly describe is like we've now support over 15 languages for feedback. And so really excited to be able to launch this as well. Lastly, this is a big change. We know our educators loved Glows and Grows and the targeted feedback, and we decided to add more options. So we now have rubric criteria, which you see in the bottom left, and next steps on the bottom right. And these both just hit different kinds of goals. So with rubric criteria, if you upload a rubric, we'll give you feedback that's aligned with those specific rubric dimensions. And with that next step, really trying to think about the growth mindset of students, whether it's for the next assignment or for this assignment or revision, what is that next step that a student can take to improve their work? So now what I'm going to do is demo out some of the bigger changes that we actually worked on recently. I'm really excited to show this. This is thanks to a lot of the work of our engineers who kind of are tireless in their desire to continue to improve the product. So I can't take personal credit for them, but I know a couple of them might join. So thank you to all of them who have kind of worked on this. The first thing I'm going to show you, as I kind of shared earlier, is that we have this option to basically bring Brisk up to do more than changing the reading level of things that are not Google Documents. But in addition, we kind of launched something somewhat unique. We launched the ability to create Google quiz forms. And that's a really powerful thing. We've found that a lot of teachers are creating quizzes in Google Docs and then copying and pasting them into Google Forms. And so say we want to create a quiz about this article about the Mars sample return mission. All we need to do is say, assess student understanding of this article. As usual, we can choose between multiple choice, short response, and long response. And now, rather than just creating a new Google Doc, what you can also do is create a new Google Form. And we're really excited about this because we think that this will save educators so much time as they're looking to assess their students. And as you can see, these questions are right here. And the neat thing is that we've also set the right answer directly in it. So you don't actually need to go in and set it. And so you can just share this in Google Classroom or Canvas or whatever learning management system you're using. And I should have mentioned this, but this is the new Brisk icon. So we're really excited about it. And it kind of shows up in a different hue depending on what you're doing with it. So if you select the text, you can see that the hue turns purple, and that means that you'll actually be able to use just that piece of text. So when I was talking about feedback, you can go in, select that text, and then generate feedback just on that specific piece, which we're really excited about. The next thing I'm going to do, and this is something that I am so thrilled to do, There's a lot of conversation about AI detectors. Brisk has a really robust one, but ultimately we wanted to focus on how we could make the information that we surface to educators as productive so that they can talk to students with coming from a position of curiosity about how they created their assignment. Ultimately, our belief with Brisk is that the problem underlying any of questions around plagiarism or even revision is more about giving teachers visibility into how students are working in the first place. So that's why we built Inspect Writing Replay. What this allows teachers to do is really quickly understand how student work was created. And so you can kind of see here, we can kind of scroll really quickly to see how this document kind of evolved. But then we can also see the largest copy paste events directly in the Google Documents history. So if a student copied from one of their peers in a case of more traditional plagiarism, or copied from something like ChatGPT, you have a piece of evidence to kind of go and have that conversation with the student to say, like, this paragraph looks completely copied. This also doesn't sound like your voice. Like, what's going on? And so we definitely recommend that you try it out and kind of use it. But really, what's so interesting about this is as we were building this, we realized that there were other problems that we could solve as part of solving this problem around plagiarism, right? So we could do something like showing the pieces of feedback that you left earlier. And then, so because often teachers, don't remember if a student resolved the feedback, what they actually gave feedback on, and kind of what the assignment looked like before the most recent revision. And so then you can actually see how a student revised their work as a result of the feedback that you've given them. And so if you've ever stressed about students reading feedback and not actually doing anything with it, or not reading it at all and just resolving the comments, this feature is for you because it really makes that solves that problem. So we're really excited to be release this, and we've already seen a lot of usage of it. And so please give us feedback. We're always looking to improve it. Teachers really find the fact that we show the amount of time spent writing the assignment was also really helpful. The next thing, and the last update that we've kind of launched in January, is the ability to see feedback insights. So the way you can see this is by going to this top right and clicking this button right here. It requires you to give at least 10 pieces of feedback on different student assignments. And what it'll do then is it'll show you the average time spent on an assignment that you've reviewed, and also give you the amount of time that it takes for you to give feedback back to a student to return it. So, and our goal here is to kind of help you be able to set goals around how quickly you're getting feedback back to students, and then highlighting areas of growth and strength for your students. So for example, here, some specific examples, and students need to use more specific examples when in their analysis. And what's really neat then is you can then decide to create a reteach lesson plan or a quiz or a resource based on that. And it just takes a couple of seconds. Since I know we have a lot more to share, I will not go into this, but we'll definitely recommend that you look into this more as you reviewed some of these new updates. Lastly, when you are creating new content, you now have this ability to personalize to my learners, which basically takes those insights about where your students are at and calibrates the content that you're creating as a result of that. So if this is currently, if you can't use this right now, you need to give at least 10 pieces of feedback on different student assignments in order to unlock personalized to my learners. And the idea there is really, content, your content best, and going to other tools and kind of generating the same content that another teacher would have generated is probably not as helpful as one that actually knows the context of your students and what skills they're working on. Lastly, I'm going to reveal something that you'll have access to tomorrow. So I'm really excited to kind of give you a sneak peek here. But we now have a YouTube integration. And this is something we've heard from many educators as they've been using different tools. And we're really excited to release this. You'll be able to do everything you can do on any other web page, but instead of looking at the text of the assignment, we'll actually look at the video and allow you to create a resource. If a student submits a YouTube video for feedback, like a student submission, you can give feedback to them on it as well. So there's some really interesting ways in which you can use the existing Brisk functionality, but now with YouTube videos. For the purpose of this, let's just create a resource, review concepts in this video, and really quickly, it'll create a resource that does that. really quickly. And we also really appreciate how Brisk is kind of like using the formatting, creating headers and things like that, so you can then quickly send this as a, a supplementary resource in addition to the video. I'm sure you all are well aware of this, but Brisk allows you to really customize all of this content. The last thing I am so excited to share with all of you is that all of these features, every single one that I showed you today, is free. And that's a big part of what we're doing with Brisk, is providing educators a really powerful tool completely for free, so that you can support your learners as best as you can. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is kind of go back to the presentation, and I think we have a couple more things.
Awesome. Thank you, Arman. So hopefully you all feel excited about what we launched in January, and we have even more announcements and surprises for you coming up. But before I get there, I want to answer a couple questions coming in from the chat. Please, if you have any questions about anything Arman just demoed, use the chat and I will answer them. We will answer them together right now live. Leslie says, so excited. Thank you, Leslie. We're excited too. I'm also going to have Arman demo one more thing, which is our targeted feedback option, because it's just so incredibly powerful and something a lot of teachers are using and also ask about. And so Arman, prepare yourself for one more demo coming in a second. But before we get there, one of the questions coming into the chat is, this is amazing. I've used all of these features already. I'm so excited about what launched in January, but what's next? What's next on the roadmap? What else can I be excited about? So I know, Arman, there's something that we're working on, and why don't you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's two tools that we'll be releasing very shortly that engineers are currently working on, and so we're so excited to be able to release them in the coming weeks. The first is a Google Slides integration, so the ability to create Google Slides, so going to a document, a lesson plan, and saying, hey, I want to create a Google slide deck based on this, or just creating a Google slide deck by just giving context about what you're looking for. So that's part of that, and then also giving feedback on student submitted Google slide decks. That's something that we've heard from time and time again. As you're using the Google Workspace, being able to give feedback on those slides is so important. And so we're excited to be releasing that feature very shortly as well. And we actually already played around with it internally, and it's pretty cool. And then the other thing is, we've heard, a lot of AI tools have been really tailored towards English and social studies teachers and science teachers, but no one is really supporting math teachers. And so we're going to be building an integration within Google Documents equation editor, so that you'll be able to generate math problem sets in seconds and be able to support students in math classes. And we think that this is a really valuable addition to the tool and are excited to be launching it in the coming weeks. Lastly, we do have this Suvi said I couldn't mention it, so I won't mention it, but I think we have something really, really, really cool under the hood cooking. So whenever we do this next webinar, definitely stay tuned, because that is like, it'll be transformative. And so I'm so excited. It'll really challenge learners, meet them exactly where they're at. And so without sharing too much, that's all I can share.
Thank you, Arman. It just means everyone has to stay tuned and join us for the next webinars and keep a pulse on Brisk, because some questions are already coming in related to what we're working on in the future, and you are all pretty spot on. We are heading in the direction you're hoping for. So that's the most we'll say right now, but I'm really excited. Another question from Leslie. So we will be able to provide, or will we be able to provide feedback on assignments within Google Classroom? Does that include Google Classroom questions responses?
Ooh, that's a great question. So maybe that's a good opportunity to go to targeted feedback.
Yes,
so
let's jump over.
Let me, so right now, if you go to Brisk is directly integrated within Google Classroom, so you can use Brisk directly within it. And as Subi kind of mentioned, one of our neat features is targeted feedback. This is the thing that I think is the most popular, that educators are benefiting the most from. It generates first pass feedback directly in Google Doc comments. The feedback is in draft mode, so all you have to do is press comment, and it's shared directly with students. We're planning on a deeper integration with Google Classroom where essentially you'll be able to incorporate rubrics that from Google Classroom directly into Brisk generated feedback. So you'll be able to very quickly uh, be able to sync those two things up, so they're a very coherent experience. And that's really the fundamental premise that we have at Brisk, which is that you need coherence within your existing tools, and rather than taking you out of context, how can we leverage the interconnections between tools to kind of benefit you? I hope that answered your question, Leslie. Let me know if it didn't.
I think what's also really powerful about targeted feedback and feedback generally in Brisk is that it really gets you 80% of the way there. You can take this feedback and click comment and send it off to students immediately, but it also, you'll notice, it doesn't automatically post. It still allows for your personalization and customization and your voice and tone to be added to that feedback to make sure that whatever you're sending to your students is true to you. And we really want to help you, with a jump off point, so you're not creating everything from scratch yourself with all that time that it takes, but also allow you to enhance whatever Brisk is generating for you in the ways that really meet your needs and also speak to how you run your classroom, because of course you know best as an educator. And so love that targeted feedback for that special way that you can adjust whatever Brisk generates. One more question before we go into some fun surprises. All right, Arman. So there are many AI tools out there, but what makes Brisk different?
Yeah, and that's something that we get a lot because I know there's so many out there. I think a lot of these tools provide some overlapping functionalities. We're still in early days of all of these functionalities, but I can share a little bit about Brisk's vision and then kind of how it's currently reflected in the differences between Brisk and other tools. As I kind of mentioned at the start, I think our belief with AI is that it should not just be another tool. During the pandemic, districts and teachers and schools, started using so many different tools and kind of lack coherence in kind of their workflow. I think the really powerful thing about AI is that it is supposed to accelerate the things that you're already doing rather than becoming another thing that you need to do. And so in order to do that, we've built what we believe is like a level of intelligence on top of your existing applications. And that allows us to do things that we just showed you, which look a little bit different than some of the other AI tools out there. For example, a couple of other tools kind of build presentations in a different format that are interactive that you can create using AI. With Brisk, what we'll be able to do is create slides directly in your Google Slides. Another example of this is targeted feedback. No other tool out there in the market is giving feedback directly in Google Doc comments where you're actually giving feedback on student work. And this is the same thing with the Inspect Writing tool. And so as you see, we'll continue to build deeper and deeper integrations with the tools you're already using so that you don't have to even think about using AI. It'll show up when it's helpful and go away when it's not. And so, yeah, that's kind of how these tools are already differentiating themselves, and you can expect over time Brisk to continue to be more and more unique in that kind of direction.
Awesome. And since we have 5 minutes left, let's move on from our Q&A section to the next. This is an exciting announcement coming on Friday. So many of you have been asking for this. We've been working on it behind the scenes, but we are launching our Brisk AI Professional Certification. And so this will be a really quick certification. It'll take you 20 minutes, in some cases even less. You'll get an awesome badge, a certificate. This counts towards your PD hours. If you're counting towards those. And it's really something that's going to immerse you more deeply into the Brisk product, train you on everything that you need to know, specifically those core basics, our 4 core features, and how they all play together to save you time on top of your existing tools, with more certifications to come. So this is level 1. Really excited for you to dive in, take this certification, let us know what you think, and stay tuned for more certification opportunities in the very near future. All right, and we promised a t-shirt giveaway. So I'm going to randomly choose 3 people to win a t-shirt, and if you won, you can expect an email from me right after this to get a little bit more information from you so we can send it your way. But drum roll, our winners are Andrew Hillman. Congratulations, Andrew. Winner number 1. Winner number 2, Alyssa F. Woohoo, Alyssa. And winner number 3, Janice V. Congratulations, Andrew, Alyssa, and Janice. You are all winners of our t-shirt. So we completed our announcements for our January updates. An email will be going out to you tomorrow with a recap of this session, and also some of the other announcements that we've shared about. And join our Facebook group. If you go on Facebook, you can type in Brisk Teaching and see that we have a community for teachers. That is a great place to get all the latest updates. Also, we have social channels. Find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. LinkedIn, wherever you are, we are too. And those are the best places to stay in the loop on all of the great things we've already launched and what's coming next. Final words, Arman?
Yeah, and I just want to thank all of you for tuning in on an evening. I know you must have so many different things to do, and we all do this all because of you. And so keep up the great work, and let us know how we can improve the product, because we are excited to do so. So thanks.
Woohoo! Thank you all. Have a good night or day.